Best racing in all the top tracks is OTB TV Digital Channel 8.2, delivering each day the best racing across the country and around the world. Whether it's Saratoga or Belmont here in New York, Florida's Gulfstream Park, or California's Del Mar and Santa Anita racecourses, no other network brings you the grandeur of horse racing like OTB TV on Digital Channel 8.2.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, OTB TV is the Capital Region's choice for the most comprehensive and informative coverage of thoroughbred and harness racing. OTB TV is the only area network delivering a steady viewership, reaching more than 540,000 households throughout the broadcast day and into the evening. Capital OTB's digital presence also plays a tremendous part in getting your message in front of potential customers. With more and more wagering moving to online, CapitalOTB.com can put your message in front of thousands of potential customers 24 hours a day. And with the addition of our new mobile app, new customers will see your message on all their digital devices. To see how affordably you can reach thousands of new customers, contact Capital OTB's Sales and Marketing Department today.
This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Champions has claimed another.
Live from the backstretch at historic Saratoga Racecourse, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow. Racing Across America is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. Thoroughfan, giving the fan a voice. Find them at thoroughfan.com. And Woodbine Racetrack. Pick, bet, and cheer on world-class horse racing north of the border.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America live from the Saratoga backstretch on this Monday morning. As you can see behind me, another beautiful day in Saratoga. It's a broken record. I think we've only had one day really affected by rain so far, but it's a gorgeous day here. Sun splashed behind me, and it's a nice day. Temperatures I think are going to moderate with still maybe a little humidity, but not like it was last week by any means. Another warm night tonight. That'll play out well for the Facing-Tipton sale if you want to swing by there. And so it's a nice day here. Low roll. We'll hit on that in a moment as well in the calendar, but nice Monday here at Saratoga. Here on Racing Across America on Monday, it means a visit from Andy Serling in a few minutes. We'll get some thoughts from the weekend. We'll get some thoughts for today as well. And, of course, I mentioned Andy and some of his thoughts on the handicapping show, and he's going to weigh in on that as well as he texted me. So that should be fun. Coming up a little later on, Anna Seitz from Facing-Tipton with the sale tonight and tomorrow night. The New York Reds coming up next weekend. We'll get a little preview of all the action just down the street, the Facing-Tipton Pavilion. And then towards the end of the program, Peter Thomas Fornatale, our friend from the Daily Racing Forum. For the Racing Forum, he covers the contest beat. Big contest coming up here at Saratoga this Wednesday and Thursday. Yesterday on Loose on the Lead, we had the Matisse brothers in here. They'll be in the contest this weekend. Of course, Paul Matisse won the DRF NHC contest out in Vegas earlier this year. We'll hit on a lot of those topics with Pete towards the end of the show. But top of the show, in a little early this week, as she will be covering the NYRA board meeting on Wednesday. So we're plugging in Teresa Genaro with the weekly calendar a little bit earlier. Good morning, Teresa.
We should probably add that board meeting to the weekly calendar.
Oh.
It's not on there.
Very good point. And you'll be covering for?
The Blood Horse.
So if people want to follow up on the board meeting, check that out online. Teresa's coverage in the Blood Horse.
And also you can stream it. You can watch it.
Oh, on the NYRA website?
No, on the Gaming Commission website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if you type New York Racing and Gaming Commission into Google, boom, you'll come up to the website.
Yeah.
All right. So folks are interested in what is going on New York Racing Association-wise, you can check that out on Monday or Wednesday morning. Yep. But again, your follow-up Wednesday afternoon certainly in the Blood Horse. And I'm guessing also your Twitter feed.
Oh, yeah.
And you should remind people what your Twitter feed is.
It's missing a lot of consonants, but it's just go to the Twitter search bar and type in my name or Brooklyn Backstretch and you'll get to it. But it's
and if people go, and again, the calendar we talk about, we remind people every week, if they go to your Brooklyn Backstretch website and type in Brooklyn Backstretch, that comes up.
Yeah.
The calendar's always there as well, but they can connect to Twitter through that also. So
yeah.
that
And and the board meeting starts at 10:30. I always send out a little, like, if you don't want a lot of tweets on this, mute me. Come back. I hope you'll come back. But I understand that not everybody's interested in a barrage of Naira business tweets. I don't know
All right.
why.
Let's jump into the calendar. And again, I'll mention the low roller contest. Every Sunday and Monday up here at Saratoga, they're a lot of fun. You jump in for $40, $10 into the pool, $30 you play with during the day. It's live money, so at the end of the day, whatever you've made, win, lose, or draw as far as the contest, you keep the money at the end. So I'll tout the low roller contest one more time this afternoon. But let's move forward. And we're going to have Anna Seitz a little bit later on. Tonight, the Facing-Tipton yearling sale, and I'll get you to comment as well. I always say, if you've never been, swing by. These are the biggest gamblers in the sport, much bigger than what happens over here, swinging 6 and 7 figures for horses that have never been tested before. Yeah. But it seems like the last couple of summers, the first night over there, it's packed.
It's a scene.
Yeah,
it has become one of those, like, when I was a little kid.
Spite and Dival.
Exactly. We used to go over there and kind of like, jeans and shorts or whatever and watch the horses. But it has become kind of like a really key part of the Saratoga social scene, and people are very dressed up. And there's a lot of drinking going on and a lot of socializing, and it seems like a lot of people actually not paying very much attention to the horses. But you can see, lots of folks over there, and it is definitely fun. And when you get one of those high-priced ones going in, the buzz does begin to circulate. And if you're standing in the back by the walking ring, there are monitors everywhere, so you can see what the bidding is doing, and you can see the horses they're walking. You're so close to them before they go in the ring. And, last year, 4 horses that came out of the Facing-Tipton sale were named Eclipse champions. Tepin, American Pharaoh, Stellar Wind.
Songbird.
Thank you. So you could see a future star really go through there, and it's a pretty cool thing.
I think those 4 are on the cover this year.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So again, it's a lot of fun. 7 o'clock. The pavilion's right down East Avenue. Just so you go out the gate at the track and a block and a half down. So. Highly, highly recommended. It's a lot of fun. You'll have fun.
And there's a half sister to Songbird by Go Sapper, hip number 61. So she'll go through the ring tonight.
Oh, all right. I'm going to make a note of that.
There you go.
All right. Lunch with commentator up at Old Friends at Cabin Creek. We had Joan Pepper on the other day. She kind of touted that, but certainly just up the street, essentially in Greenfield, you can meet a lot of the old horses that you'll be familiar with, and Old Friends, a great organization. And
he's so fun commentator. 2-time winner of the Whitney. Obviously the Whitney was held this weekend. New York bred, trained by Nick Zito, and just such a neat horse. So fast, so fun to watch. But he's really chill in retirement. He likes to be fed treats. He likes to be pet. Some of those old guys can be a little curmudgeonly, but commentator's not at all. He's cool to be around. So lunch with him, how fun, and to benefit the retirees at Old Friends.
Tours begin at 9 and lunch available at 11. Again, Cabin Creek up in Greenfield.
And
Old
also
Friends at Cabin Creek.
Super affordable. I mean, they ask for a suggested donation of $10. Totally worth it.
Absolutely. Coming up, there will be a book signing on Broadway, Northshire Books. Speaking of residents at Old Friends at Cabin Creek, The Legends of Zippy Chippy with William Thomas. That comes up Tuesday at 7 p.m. But we also want to mention a guy you have interviewed, James Nicholson, and his biography on John Morrissey. Well.
John Morrissey, the man without whom Saratoga Racecourse likely would not exist. Fascinating, fascinating guy. Grew up in Troy, not far from here. James Nicholson is a wonderful writer and a real lover of racing history. I didn't talk to him about this book, but certainly the fodder of John Morrissey's life, provides a wonderful story for somebody to tell. Was a bare-knuckle brawler, as you can see on the screen here. Became a congressman, and when he died in the Adelphi Hotel. That was his home when he lived up here. And when he died, he was laid in state, and hundreds and thousands of people came to pay their respects to him. He was beloved by Saratogians. Died very young.
Presentation 7 p.m. the Dutcher Community Room, the Saratoga Springs Public Library, just off Broadway, block down off Broadway. Irish American Day. These are fun. They've been doing these the past few years, kind of focusing on different weeks on the different heritages, and it's Irish American Day this coming Wednesday. And again, they're always fun. Food, music, dancing, go and enjoy. Have some Guinness. 11 to 5 during the day. Wear green. And absolutely. Wear a little green and maybe get a little bit lucky as well. Yeah. Another Old Friends at Cabin Creek thing, and this to kind of honor our friend Barbara Livingston. And I think the guys have a picture. I pulled up a picture of Barbara at work yesterday because I knew we were going to talk about this event. And so Barbara out there on the track, you see her running around paddock, the front side. What was it, a couple of nights ago, we were up in the press box late, and you said that she's running across it. It was like an hour after the races, and she was catching a photo of something out in the infield. But there's Barbara right there. So this is fun. She's a lot of fun, and she'll be honored by the folks at Old Friends at Cabin Creek with an event they have coming up on, what is that, Thursday night. And, you know, Barbara's not only a terrific photographer, she is an incredibly generous person who cares so much about the horses in the sport. And she has donated a lot of her time to taking photographs of the retirees. Before Old Friends was a really big deal, she went and took photographs of the horses there to help them put together a book to raise money for the retirees. She's unstintingly dedicated to making sure that these horses have a good existence after their racing days are over, and it is so nice to see them honoring all of her contributions to that. That'll happen at Ann's Washington Inn Thursday. More information if you go to the Old Friends at Cabin Creek website. I think you can find more info there. Coming up on Friday, the Hall of Fame induction. If you're not a Hall of Fame member, and I think if you don't have your ticket by now, you can watch it streaming. So, but I think it's going to be very popular. Zenyatta, Rachel Alexander, Ramon Dominguez, and Steve Asmussen. I mean, it's a Hall of Fame, sure, but it's an all-star Hall of Fame this year. I mean, all of those guys essentially, and gals, horses, for our first ballot Hall of Famers, very little disagreement that these four are worthy. Sometimes you get a little bit of dissension, not these. I think it'll be a moving and exciting ceremony, and it'll be interesting to see who's going to speak on behalf of everyone and the horses. And so very cool, very, very cool Hall of Fame year. 10:30 on Friday. Again, it'll stream on the website. And from Brian Boyer was with us a couple of weeks ago, he said they'll also be showing it out in the backyard because it happens in the Facing-Tipton Pavilion. So if you go there and go in the backyard, you can be on site and kind of feel part of it and watch it on the TVs back there as well. And just a reminder again, the big sale tomorrow night, but the New York bred sale coming up next Saturday and Sunday out at Facing-Tipton. And since you won't be here before that, we should also mention the next giveaway comes up next Monday, a week from today. It will be the towel giveaway, the beach towels. Beach towels. Yeah. In the middle of August, getting a little chilly. Not sure how much beach weather we've got. Oh, there's beach weather. Sorry. There's beach weather. I'm one of those advocates. Summer isn't over till we get to September 21st or whatever. I make the most out of it. Well, hopefully you'll have plenty of opportunity to use it. Obviously it looks great. The giveaways have been popular this year, really nice quality. Have never done the beach towel one before. I'm guessing they're already up on eBay, and I think that probably will be a popular item. Absolutely. All right. Again, you can find the calendar on Teresa's website, Brooklyn Backstretch. Type into Google and you can follow the early calendar weekly, but also the whole season as well. Throw in one more? Yeah. Real quick, just next Tuesday, the Dark Day charity golf tournament at Saratoga National that benefits the Grayson Jockey Club Research Foundation, funds a lot of programs and equine medical research. So a week from tomorrow? Week from tomorrow, Saratoga National. Details on the website. There's the calendar. We'll take a break. When we come back, Andy Serling in the house. We will find out how he disagrees with my comments on what I said earlier. But stay tuned. It's always fun. Andy Serling next. Stay with us.
In a recent study of some of the top online wagering sites, Capital OTB won big in total player rewards, far surpassing some of the best-known wagering sites in America. While other rewards programs simply offer you points redeemable for gift cards, Capital OTB's rebates are paid to you in actual cash. Plus, Capital OTB gives you full and immediate access to your money. So if all you're getting now are points and gift cards, join Capital OTB Player Rewards today and get cash back. Visit CapitalOTBBet.com and sign up today.
It's where dreams are born and champions are tested.
Saratoga. And the excitement of Saratoga is now at your fingertips at CapitalOTBBet.com. Wager any place, anytime on all your digital devices. Watch live racing, get past performances, bet online on our state-of-the-art wagering platform. Now for Saratoga, it's Bet 100, Get 100. Open a new Capital Bets account, bet $100, and get $100 cash back. And don't forget to download our new mobile app, CapitalOTBBet.com.
Can you hear it? It's the sound of excitement. Something we infuse into every grape that goes into our exceptional full-bodied wine. That was closer than I thought it would be. Now, if you'll excuse me. 14 hands, where great times are made.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. Monday morning, that means a visit from Andy Serling. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Seth. How are you, man?
Very good. Should we start right out? I said on the handicapping show, you texted me that I misunderstood, so I'll let you square it out. Because I have said before, and I believe it, some owners point for the Saratoga meet. So when you say, hey, they like to win up here, and you made the point that I think is a valid point. Everybody does like to win up here. But I think, to me, some owners, I think you can key on more than other owners. But I'll let you clarify.
How do you think the ROI is on the Klarovich starters this meet, where they have 4 winners? It ain't strong.
Oh, well.
No, that's not my point, though. No, my point was exactly what you said. By the way, it's nice to be on. It's nice to see you. It's always nice to see you. It's nice to see everybody here. Is that, yeah, absolutely. But a lot of owners are pointing to win here, and they've got to get it done. It's kind of like the argument about tips in 2-year-old races. I mean, obviously, Todd Pletcher and dirt horses is very strong. You know, when they go off at short prices, they show up and win, like yesterday and like the horse Theory about a week or so ago. But in general, when you get these 2-year-old races and you get a tip on a horse, it's like, yeah, I'm sure that guy really does like his horse. He's been waiting to try to win at Saratoga. He or she and 7 others. So my point is that you can say, yeah, it's true, but like yesterday we were talking about it with Roddy Valenti. Absolutely, Roddy wants to win at Saratoga. I'm sure he's going to have some horses and say, I think here's a horse I could win a race with at Saratoga, and then he's going against Mike Dove, who's trying to win a race at Saratoga, and another owner is trying to win a race at Saratoga. So the bottom line is, yeah, it's absolutely true that people are pointing to win here, but a lot of them are. So I don't know that I just think it's almost a distraction. Just me.
Yeah, no, I get the point.
It's like your Klarovich point is absolutely well taken. They definitely want to win a race at Saratoga.
And those 2-year-old sale purchases, it looks like that they buy them with Saratoga in mind. That's how it appears to me.
Well, yeah, but everybody does that because first of all, what is the we're
but
trying
as I say,
to.
If you're a smaller stable, you got 8 horses, and the race comes up at Belmont, you're going to say, well, I'm going. Whereas I think Klarovich has enough. They can go the race at Belmont and the race at Saratoga.
Yeah, but I mean, Todd Pletcher's got many more 2-year-old dirt horses, so he may show up. Even he wasn't hugely represented in our 2-year-old races at Belmont. And don't forget, a lot of these people, Chad, Todd, as well as other people, they are training their horses up in Saratoga before Belmont. Yeah. And so their point is they're also up here. So, unless they're really precocious, I mean, don't forget, Chad Brown won with Bobby on Fleek down at Belmont. Obviously, they were hoping he'd do well, and they could run in the stake. It's the Sanford, the second one. I can never remember which is first and second, the Special or Sanford.
No,
they both start with
Sanford
S.
Special, hopeful.
They both start with S. It's very annoying. Skyward of the Adirondack.
I remember easy, Sanford because they were the stud farmers right up the street from me.
I need to find it. Usually it's numbers work for me. Phone numbers. There's some sort of mathematical thing. Whatever. Anyway, I don't disagree with you. I just think you're fighting in a lot of these races. A lot of people trying to win here. I mean, you could look at a 2-year-old race and say, yes, it's Klarovich or Eclipse. They're all trying to win up here.
Yeah, and your point on the tips, I
tips are
absolutely
disaster.
agree with because we got a live one. Yeah, well, there are 5 other live ones in the race you're going in up here, so the tips are. All right, before we get to racing all, let's also update Thursday night the radio show. I just caught the end of it because I was playing the jockey horseman basketball game, and I had one go in and out this year, so I at least hit something this year. But Ken McPeak, I'm in the corner. He doesn't hit me with the open 3, so Ken McPeak's on my bad list now.
Really?
Yeah.
He must be pretty upset about that. Does he know?
Probably not. But even Mitch was Mitch was doing the commentary. He said Seth's open in the corner, but no, I get nothing.
Even Mitch. Even Mitch.
Even Mitch saw that I was open.
Said that. Mitch will know that you said that. Even Mitch. Javier Castellano, Tom Amos, my friend Tom Amos, that everybody seems to think that he and I hate each other because we had a disagreement on TV. This is not true. And Walker Hancock.
Oh,
he's here for the sales. Obviously, he's instrumental at Claiborne Farms right now, and Paul Matisse, who
we had him on yesterday. That'll be a great conversation.
And Paul, one of the real good guys, as well as being one of the great handicappers in racing, is also one of the true good guys.
We had him on yesterday as the.
He made fun of me. He told me.
I think yes, he did.
He thought my feelings would be hurt.
Yeah, you can pull it up on YouTube.
I told him that any one of my friends is eligible to make fun of me anytime they want. I'm very easy.
But as we ended the interview, we said, "Give us one." He gave us Royal Posse.
Oh, really?
There you go, Paul Matisse.
I hate him.
Walks out.
That was even better for him. If he knew I hated him, he could have really done well. It was a very bad opinion on my part.
All right, before we get to today, just so I get a comment, we'll pull up the stretch run to the Whitney this past Saturday. Frosted gets it done. Frosted the number 2. Comfort gets up for second in here. Frosted's the number 4. Comfort's the number 2, gets up for second. Upstart runs 3rd. FNX 4th. The question mark 2 turns. Could he string a couple together? The buyer figure went backwards, but it was still good enough to get it done. And when you look at the fractions he put up with early, Noble Bird, who's pushing him, winds up 5th in here. I thought it was a tremendous performance.
Yeah, he's a terrific racehorse. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And I don't think anything is overly surprising about the result. Nobody reasonable expected him to run a buyer figure back in the 120s or have the same kind of explosive performance. The one turn clearly had a lot to do with it, and you knew that coming out. You also knew that this was a horse. I think there was some sort of misconception going around that he wasn't some kind of good 3-year-old. If it wasn't for American Pharoah, he would have been. He might have been the favorite for Horse of the Year this year. He pushed American Pharoah to mile core in the Travers and still ran a terrific race. I mean, he is the biggest part of the reason that American Pharoah lost. Somebody actually tried to beat him in the middle of a race as opposed to letting him walk around the front end. I'm not knocking American Pharoah, but he had some pretty good setups in big races. And he denied him that opportunity, and it ended up helping Keen Ice win a race, whereas Keen Ice had been sort of victim of situations in prior races. But Frosted ran well in there. I mean, he came back 3 weeks later and ran a 106 buyer and winning the Pennsylvania Derby. It's not like Frosted, it's a poor resume. He won the Grade 1 Wood Memorial last year, finished 2nd to American Pharoah. A lot of horses that ran beyond American Pharoah won a lot of races when he wasn't around. It was probably one of the biggest testaments to how good he was. So, yeah, obviously he didn't run that big number, but he from a pace standpoint, he ran a very good race because it was an honest pace. I think we're so used to these preposterously slow paces that when good horses actually go a little faster early, people are so shocked by it. Well, good horses can go fast early and fast late.
Yeah, that was, given the fractions, it was a nice performance because I thought at the top of the stretch, FNX might swallow him up. But
he was disappointing.
Because at the top of the stretch, it did look like he was going to make a nice move and winds up running 4th in there. All right, let's get some thoughts for this afternoon's card. Nice Monday card. We were talking earlier. Mondays are great if people are thinking about coming up. You have a lot of room to spread out. There's good racing. Tonight, go out, catch dinner, and still have time to go over and watch the sale. So nice Monday up here at Saratoga. The feature is going to be the New York Stallion Series. $100,000. They're on the grass at a mile. I used cloud control in here. Just I think this is kind of an up-and-comer moving in the right direction. Beat similar to shorter distance last time. Free and Clear, I think, is better than the Stakes Try 2 back and will do better in the second try in Stakes Company. And Rooftop View in the 3rd spot for me. 2, 5, and 1. What did you see?
I'm starting to find that these mile turf races are the most treacherous races we run. They're the races that seem to be oddly ridden. Yesterday you had that race where obviously the Chaparral favorite got in a lot of trouble in there and finished 3rd and probably shouldn't have won. And I don't think the winner was outlandish in there, especially considering the trouble that the 5 had. But, you had a horse in that race, the Archer's Bay, that should have been lower in the lead. He was back in 9th. And these are the races you're seeing sort of funny setups. And I think it leads to odd results. Now, whether or not that's the case in a small field here, you've got 7 horses. I'm going to assume that the filly Free and Clear is going to stay in. She's part of a bigger field here on Thursday's card, but it's also She drew an outside post, which isn't particularly good, and she's certainly a player in this race. Cloud Control is way the horse to beat, no denying it. It will be a short price, and probably should be. Got a very, very good ride and trip by Angel Royal last time out, sitting right behind. And while Western's a nice horse, it's not really a turf horse. And I'm wondering if Rooftop View is really the right horse in this race. I actually thought he ran pretty well last time out, all things considered. And I'm not sure horses like Hirschbein and Storm Prophet might not be better than these horses in a lot of situations. And kind of made a big outside run and almost caught Storm Prophet with a very good trip on the inside. And a lot of that race was dominated towards the inside, whereas Rooftop View had an outside trip. So I think he's a very viable alternative to Cloud Control. They look like the right two to me.
All right, let's move on to race number 5 this afternoon. We'll stay with some state breds. This is an allowance company. Non-winners are one other than. They're going a mile and a 16th. Saratoga Smoke's going to be fun just to root for. The Double Onions guy, the Double Onions logos, they're all local. And again, they won last year, and there was a big celebration in the winners.
Now one of the gentlemen who's involved with this horse passed away? Isn't that true?
Yeah,
a really nice story about him in the Gazette. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely, they're good guys. I see them all the time. And I may not be picking them, but
I don't exactly. I don't have them in the mix, but I'm still rooting for them. Obviously, I put Kundray on top, and I said on the handicapping show earlier, for me, it's a very tepid nod. I think you can go a number of different directions. Kundray on top, 2-11 and 6, but not with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, the Kundrays of the world. Mike Max actually has terrific numbers off of maiden wins and turf routes, which suggests they come back and run better. I think he'll have to. He got a very good trip last time. He's kind of a disappointing horse, to be honest. I've got him third. He can win. I struggled a lot with this race. When I find I'm struggling with races, I want to at least find horses that are reasonable prices. And Forever for Always, the 3 seemed a little interesting to me. A significant rider change in Junior Alvarado. And the last race wasn't particularly good, though Barrel of Dreams finished third, crushed that field yesterday for Charlie Baker, was having a sensational, not just meet here, but he's great at Belmont. He's a terrific trainer. But the race on June 22nd, that was a very good race because that was a real meltdown race. And it's not like she was that far off the pace. And I thought she ran well, making that first move, finishing second behind Sugar Mags. And I thought Forever Always, I'm not saying she's the likeliest winner by any stretch, but I think she's an interesting horse in this race.
All right, and 8-1 on the morning line, maybe a little bit of value offered there. Let's go out to the 8th this afternoon. It's an optional claimer, 80 tags, non-winners of 3 other than a 7-furlong sprint. I went out to Toledo, Eddie, a couple of triple-digit buyers, bookending a buyer that's not so good, but that was on the turf. The 2 dirt races are obviously very good. So for me, the race goes through that one. Western Reserve and Ocean Knight. I put Western Reserve second, Ocean Knight third. It's not going to surprise me on the comeback if Ocean Knight runs very well. I'd be interested to see your thoughts on Ocean Knight, but how did you see the race?
Why Western Reserve? He ran one dirt race and was atrocious. That race did fall apart at Gulfstream, to be fair. He wasn't on the inside, though.
And it's, I guess, situations like this, I kind of put my trust in the trainer. The horse has been racing well on turf. You're right, but I don't know that we have enough of a resume on dirt to actually put the line through it at this point. It's a stab on the trainer, confidence, but we'll see.
He had worked well, I think, in Florida. He'd taken a lot of money that day, and he seems to be working well here. And I'm wondering if Beaumont doesn't really have anywhere to run him. He's won his non-winners at 2. I'm wondering where he can run him, and he's just taking another shot.
Yeah,
with
this
him.
is a non-winners at 3 on dirt.
It just feels like he's going to be a little overbet for all those reasons you point out, and I don't want him. And I also am not. I don't really trust Ocean Knight. He's got to run really well to win this race. Not an easy race. I like your horse. I think Toledo Eddie just makes a lot of sense. Every race he runs for David Jacobson has been fast. Look at the 4 buyers he's run his last 4 starts: 106, 99, 102, and 100. Yeah. This field's in a lot of trouble when he runs a triple-digit buyer in here. Ocean Knight's never run one. Why are we supposed to assume he's going to do it off his second long layoff? And I think Ocean Knight's probably a very problematic horse in that he's obviously extremely talented, but he's very hard to keep on the racetrack. And I don't want horses like that at short prices. You got to let him beat me. Look what happened yesterday with Far From Over. It feels like the way he ran, whatever the issues were, you hope he's okay. But Chiravelli, the 3, is my other horse in here. Obviously, the 8 and 3 look like the right 2 to me. I think Chiravelli, Alsvid's pretty good, who beat him. And I've always liked this horse, Chiravelli. He actually ran that huge race before the Wood as a 3-year-old 2 years ago. And then he ran a really respectable 4th in the Wood. So he doesn't win. That's the problem with Chiravelli. But he's a pretty good horse for Eddie Cadillo.
Yeah, I had that one in the 4th spot. And I agree with you. Alsvid, for people who aren't familiar, is a top sprinter in the Midwest circuit. And so
come for the Vanderbilt, Alsvid. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, second behind that one is flattering. So I have no disagreement there. All right, Andy, we'll let you head back to the front side. Folks can check out Andy, of course, the pregame, the pre-race
Was our fight
prattle.
disappointing? I don't want to interrupt, but were you disappointed? Were you expecting a bigger battle?
I think
you seemed kind of geared up for that. I know. I felt sort of bad when I was home. You know, I heard you, and you guys were so excited, and I thought I'm going to really disappoint them because I don't really disagree with you. I just, you know.
Well, that's okay.
I don't disagree with you, Seth. I think you're tremendous. You do
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Again, Thursday nights down at the Parting Glass for, and what's the if there are people who listen on the dial?
ESPN 104.5. The Team. I'm not sure if there's a Yankee game. There's always a conflict. If there's no Yankee game, we'll be on live, and they'll tape it. And check the Twitter feeds. Their Twitter feed, my Twitter feed. Everybody on Earth is on Twitter. But you.
You know, before the meet, I actually, and it still may happen, I had some ideas, so people can stay tuned for that. I'll alert you first.
Do you have a smartphone, or you still have a flip phone?
No, I do have a smartphone, but it's not really smart.
The guy operating it's not that smart.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
Kind of
I have that problem, too.
But again, Thursday night's Parting Glass, 8 o'clock, highly recommended. And again, the MSG Fox Sports show as well, each racing day at 6 o'clock.
4 to 6:30. 4 to 6 today. 4 to 6:30.
Don't do that at 6. That would have been
MSG
bad.
Plus, Fox Sports 2, all that good stuff.
All right, Andy, appreciate the visit, and we'll talk again next Monday.
I look forward to it.
Coming up next, Anna Seitz from Facing Tipton, the sale tonight and tomorrow night. The New York Reds coming up on the weekend. We'll get an update on all of that right after this. Stay tuned.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Face it. Most horse racing websites are just too much clutter, too much to navigate through. Next time, log on to CapitalOTB.com. Our newly designed website is easier than ever to use, with all the information the professional horse player needs. CapitalOTB.com.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit RTN.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
I'm Steve Beck.
And I'm Seth Merrow.
Together, we're loose on the lead on Capital OTB, Sundays at 10 a.m. Why should they watch, Seth?
Sit down on Sunday, have a bagel, get some great racing conversation.
Cream cheese only, no jelly. Sundays, 10 a.m., loose on the lead, Capital OTB.
Hi, I'm Acacia Courtney. I'm a senior at Fordham University, and believe it or not, I'm a fan of horse racing. It used to be that we would come to the track to watch beautiful horses run and maybe even place a bet. But today, competition for gaming dollars has taken over all of that. Now, fan numbers are dropping. Why is that? Because new people are not being introduced to our sport. ThoroughFan is a national 501c3 nonprofit thoroughbred fan organization that wants to change all of that. Be a part of making a difference in our sport. For just $25 a year, you can be a part of a network of thoroughbred racing fans. Visit thoroughfan.com/join for more information.
Now get all the racing information you need right on your mobile device with Capital OTB's new mobile app. Wager anytime, anywhere, right from your smartphone or tablet. Watch, wager, and win right at your fingertips. The new Capital OTB mobile app.
And it's the filly winning colours. Gary Stevens going to the whip left-handed. Just one crack, though. It's winning colours. Turning in an absolutely outstanding performance. We're looking at one exceptional filly.
We're picking that. Oh, here we go. Right now. Welcome back to Racing Across America on Monday morning, Monday night, and Tuesday night. The Facing Tipton sale right down the street from the racetrack. If you haven't already gotten the idea from me, get over there. If you've never gone before, it's a lot of fun. If you've been, you know. But we're going to talk a little bit about that now with Anna Seitz, Client Development and Public Relations Manager for Facing Tipton. Good morning, Anna.
Morning. Thanks so much for having me on.
Happy to have you on. Before we get to that, I got to talk basketball again because you were on the team the other night. And we were sitting next to each other on the bench, and I'm getting the feeling you were the horsemen need a little fundamentals. Horsemen need some fundamentals.
That was frustrating. I'm very competitive. After the game, all the next day, I've said, we need more coaching. My boss said, you got to chill out. Quit being so competitive. It's for charity. But that is my favorite.
I'm kind of the same way, though. I'm sitting there. The jockeys roll off like 8 straight points on fast breaks. I'm sitting. Yeah, it's a little charity game. I'm like, get some defense. Come on.
I'm like, get back.
But it was a squeaker, and
It's
so it was a fun game. And again, it was for the racetrack chaplaincy, always fun to participate. And did you score? I had one go in and out. Okay, so you're up on me there. Last year I had the Jeremiah Engelhardt feed where I missed everything. So at least I hit the backboard. I was telling somebody that story the other night, and they said it's hard to miss the backboard. I said yes, it's hard to miss the backboard. So at least this year I did that. All right, tomorrow night, the sale. And as I said, it's fun for people to come over, and I'm imagining you guys promote that because that just gets, and I said the last 2 years, the backyard on the first night has been jam-packed, but it just raises the energy level.
Absolutely. It will be packed tonight. There's something different this year. I've worked at Phasic for about 8.5 years now, and this year, people came in earlier. There's more people on the grounds looking at horses. There's more buzz than there's been since I think I've been at Phasic Tipton up here. So we're obviously coming off of a tremendous success out of the sale with 4 Eclipse Awards winners this year, so I think that helps, but also just it's a great time of year, tying again into the Whitney, the Festival of Racing, and all these. It's going to be packed, and the public is welcome to come out. We ask people not to sit in the pavilion just because they're reserved for the buyers and sellers, but come on out and check it all out. And
the backyard is great. There's an open-air bar, and you can go and watch the horses before they go in, and there's the potential that you will see a champion. We talked a little bit about it earlier when we were promoting this, but the cover this year has American Pharoah, Songbird, Tepin, and Stellar Wind. So a pretty nice roster of Saratoga sales graduates, maybe some more of those this year as well. And the catalog's a little thicker this year than last year.
Yeah, we have more horses this year, and it's good. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of people wanting to sell up here. So,
talk a little bit about first-year sires who may be standing out this year.
Let's see, we've got Orb. I think there's a really nice Orb in the catalog, and then there's, let's see, Flat Out, The Factor. Well, he's got, he had that nice winner yesterday. Yeah. So there's just a really nice, if the horse doesn't have a huge pedigree, then the horse has a gorgeous, physical, it's just walking around over there, a bunch of supermodels.
And talking about the supermodels, talk about the pedigree and the conformation, because this is the Saratoga Select sale. So these horses are all kind of, there's a process that where you guys go out and look. What is the timing to get up to this sale in August?
Well, the breeders nominate, if they think that this horse would be good for the sale, they nominate 6 to 8 months in advance. So they send in a form with the pedigree on it. We look at the pedigree, and then we have an inspection team. If the pedigree fits what we think would work, our inspection team goes out. They go all over. Sometimes they go to England, they go to Canada, they go all over the United States. We have a fantastic selection team, and they look at the horses, and you have to have the right horse for Saratoga. So you don't want to take a horse that's not going to be the highest quality, because you want your horse to sell well, and I think this year and our team just picked out a really, really great book.
And part of the whole fun of being over there too is the barn area. You see them walk out the horses, and you see the people looking at the conformation.
Mm-hmm.
To me, they all look beautiful, well, but there are clearly people really looking closely for special things.
That's the thing up here, and it's like looking in a Grade 1 race. They all look gorgeous because they're very well-bred, gorgeous-looking horses that, they are gorgeous. So over there, all of them are nice, and I agree with you.
Yeah, and that, again, that's a fun part of it. As you can see the shot there, you see a lot of that going on. The horses come out of the stalls, and potential buyers take a look. So the pedigree and the conformation, very important, and that then leads to potential 6 or 7 figure prices. And let's also toss in this year a couple of stallions that I think are creating a lot of buzz, or have already. You have some Frankels and some Galileos
yes, Galileos.
In there.
That's the international buzz is really cool. Exciting. We have the half-sister to Songbird, which everyone's talking about because they know Songbird up here very well. And we've got some Tappets. We've got half-sister to Princess of Silmar, which people in New York know her very well. So just a lot of royalty over there.
And there was a nice article in the Racing Forum today. You can catch it online that kind of goes through some of the hips that may be interesting to watch. Why don't you alert us on maybe 3 or 4 that could be interesting, particularly at the Songbird
She's hip number 61, so she'll be tonight. So the sale starts at 6:30. Might get off, I'm assuming with the racing and everything, we have to make sure we finish the racing first. But we usually do about 20, 30 hips an hour, so just you can start watching to watch her. She should be exciting. There's the Tappet, hip 49, out of a Grade 1 winner, her Smiled. And just everyone knows Tappet is just a hot stallion. So I would just say log on and just watch the whole thing, because it's going to be hopefully a really great show.
And again, we're going to pick up the feed on Capital OTB TV tonight as well, and give us a little idea. You were talking before we went on the air of the enhanced program that'll be streamed.
Well, this is the first time we've ever done it. So we normally air our sale live on PhasicTipton.com, where it's just the horse in the ring. But this year we're going to have more of the whole scenics. So you can watch people bidding, you can watch the action, you can watch all the excitement. So it should be really, really cool. We're excited to try it out, and you'll get a feel. You'll feel like you're there rather than just being zoned in on that one horse.
And it's fun too to kind of see the spotters going as the afternoon or the evening progresses. And there's also, if you're out in the backyard, there's also an auctioneer stand with the spotter out there in the backyard as well. And it's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You get a feel occasionally there's somebody out there in the backyard, and you try to kind of spot who's bidding and how it's going, and that's part of the fun of it. That action, and as I said before, up here, you get the nice crowd out in the backyard, and you get a nice full house in the front. And for an auction house, that has to be great. They get the excitement going. And
people bid a little bit more. That's the one thing. And you have a nighttime auction, and people, you get caught up in it. I do it too. I've done it before. You say, I'm going to go to this number, and I'm going to stop bidding. And then all of a sudden, the guy over there bids one more, and you're like, no, I'm going to bid one more. So you get caught up. It becomes a passionate, like, I really want that horse, and we love it, obviously, as working for the sales company.
And it's also, I said, it's great. Go over there, have a fun time. But it's also fun if you're a horse racing fan, because you're going to see a lot of the names of horse racing, trainers and whatnot. Bob Baffert has been a regular in previous years.
He flew in last night. I said shipped in. He flew in last night. Got in late, and I saw him over there this morning. And Wayne Lucas, I saw him walking around. And there's just Todd Pletcher will be there. There'll be lots of trainers.
And typically, Bobby Flay is in the
here.
house, too.
Yep, he's here. He's selling one, so he'll be there.
Oh, he's selling one?
I know. We should have got him playing the basketball game the other night.
Or at least cooking the halftime food.
Yeah, that would have been good.
But and give us a little update also. This is, I'm assuming this is the Fasig-Tipton Premier Sale of the year, but how many sales are there during the year?
Well, we actually have 12 sales. We have different Premier Sales. This is the Select Yearling Sale up here. We have a Select Yearling Sale in Kentucky, the July sale, but we also have a very, very, very premier breeding stock sale in November. It's the Monday after the Breeders' Cup where we
that's where some of the Breeders' Cup runners come in. Those are always fun.
So, like we sold the Princess of Silmar there, that kind of deal. So it's fun to see the progression of if we sell them as babies and they go on to race, and then we get to sell them again at the end of their career. So that's an exciting one as well.
And I always like to ask people, talk a little bit about your background and how you got involved in the horse racing game.
I was born into it, so it was in my blood. I grew up, my parents have Brookdale Farm in Versailles, Kentucky, so I actually live on the farm now and just worked around the farm my whole life growing up, and then I worked for Todd Pletcher for 4 years, and then joined Fasig-Tipton, and I also put racing partnerships together with my husband. We have about 10 different racing syndicates, and I have a couple in Australia and a lot of all women's, just because I can't get enough, so I have a sickness.
Yeah, you and I, you were on with Steve Bick and I last year or the year before talking about the partnerships. Update us there. I didn't realize you're also over in Australia. Is that fun?
I went. It's very fun. I went down to Australia for Fasig-Tipton to recruit buyers for a November sale, and there's just like it's so much fun. There's so many amazing women down there, so we ended up buying a horse, and she's good. And so we bought another one this year, and there's about 40 women in on her, and it's women from I think 8 different countries, and it's just a lot of fun and then they come up here and buy into the groups up here, and we had a big party last night. Jeremiah Englehart, you mentioned him earlier. He's one of our trainers, and Ron Moquette and Ralph Nix.
Oh.
So we had a really fun.
I saw your Twitter feed. It did look like a fun party. Yes. It did look like a very fun party.
So it's just nice to, my syndicates are about, they're educational, but they're based on the social aspect, because a lot of times the horses aren't that great. We've gotten very lucky. We've had some good ones, but I want people to have a good experience in the horse industry. I want them to get in maybe on a small piece with me and then go on and do more things. If it becomes being a fan, becoming a bettor, becoming an owner, becoming a breeder, we want to just get them into the game and just have a good time.
Yeah, and that's what I say those partnerships are all about. And up here at Saratoga, the social aspect even plays into it more. And people can come out in the mornings, go on the backstretch and see their horse, and hopefully get in the winner's circle, and that's very, very exciting. But yeah, it's also exciting. And I say, would you agree? The gamblers down the street of Fasig-Tipton dwarf what happens over here. Those are the biggest gamblers in the game, and that's what makes it a lot of fun.
You're 100% right. They do. They take a big risk, and a lot of times it works out, and sometimes it doesn't.
And as the cover shows, 4 times it worked out, at least 4 that worked out very, very well. Of course, American Pharoah having gone through the ring up here, that certainly is a diamond in the cap of Fasig-Tipton. You have the potential to see a Triple Crown winner tonight, tomorrow night. Oh, we should also mention coming up on Saturday and Sunday, New York Breds as well.
Breds. Yeah, it's very big. It's obviously with the purse money up here being as good as it is, that catalog gets stronger and stronger every year. It gets tougher and tougher to buy out of that sale. So that's this Saturday and Sunday after the race is 6:30 as well. Again, it's open to the public.
And it's the same situation and the same setup. And as you say, it's becoming more popular because of the purse money. So if you can't make it on a weeknight, next Saturday and Sunday, pop over to the New York Bread Sale. That's just as fun also to kind of get out there and get a little buzz. But highly recommended. We'll tout it again at the end of the show because I always go over. And a nice warm summer night like this is going to be perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we wish you and the entire team a lot of luck tonight, tomorrow night, and into next weekend as well. Anna Seitz from Facek-Tipton, and good luck. We'll talk again.
Appreciate it.
All right. We'll head to a break. When we come back, we see him in the green room. It's Peter Thomas Fornatale, covers handicapping contest for the Daily Racing Form, a big one coming up here Wednesday and Thursday at Saratoga. We'll hit on that and much more right after this. Stay tuned.
I'm Mark Cassano. Join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch. We'll inform, analyze, and welcome in the biggest names in racing. So join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch, right here on the OTB television network.
It's where dreams are born and champions are tested. Saratoga. And the excitement of Saratoga is now at your fingertips at CapitalOTBBet.com. Wager any place, anytime on all your digital devices. Watch live racing, get past performances, bet online on our state-of-the-art wagering platform. Now for Saratoga, it's Bet 100, Get 100. Open a new Capital Bets account, bet $100, and get $100 cash back. And don't forget to download our new mobile app, CapitalOTBBet.com.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Not at the track and not near a computer? No problem. Wager with Capital OTB's Touch-Tone Wagering System and you'll never get shut out again. Capital OTB's Touch-Tone Wagering System is quick, simple to use, and guarantees your wagers are accurate and placed on time. For more information, visit CapitalOTB.com or call Capital OTB's customer service hotline at 800-292-BETS. Capital OTB's Touch-Tone Wagering System. Never get shut out again.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome back. As promised before the break, we are joined now by Peter Thomas Fornatale, covers the contest scene for the Daily Racing Forum. Good morning, Pete.
Good morning to you, sir. Always a pleasure to be on the show. Get so much feedback anytime I get to appear here with you, and a great excuse to talk to people about horse racing, Saratoga, handicapping contests, what have you.
Yeah, and we're going to hit on the contest coming up because there is a big one up here Wednesday and Thursday. Low roller today. I've been playing the low roller for the past, 2 or 3 seasons. And I guess there are a few of these out around the country. I think it's a great way for people who are looking at these big ones that may be a little too rich for the blood, but if you jump in a low roller and kind of get the feel of it, there are other opportunities out there online, especially during the year. But the low roller is a fun way to kind of jump into the contest scene.
It's a great training ground. And in fact, a former NHC champion, Jose Arias, I first met him playing in the Santa Anita low roller events. He cut his teeth for contests there, ends up winning an entry, I think it was online, to go to the NHC, walks away with $800,000. So it may be $40 to begin with, but you have an opportunity here to run it up to something really significant and even life-changing in the contest world. As you said, online, another great way. These days, this is different than last year. Now, the DRF Tournaments website, we're running low-money feeders through the week. Little as $12. You can get it on the weekend, win an entry to a major tournament, and parlay that into your life-changing score. Lots of ways to do it.
And so the tournaments, the DRF tournament site, essentially you play during the week to get to, if you win there for a low amount of money, you've paid your entry into the weekend.
Exactly. If folks are familiar with the poker world, very similar model to the satellites and super satellites. Feeder contests essentially are qualifiers to a qualifier. And of course, you can buy your way in directly to the qualifier at the weekend as well. But you get a chance to play for very little money, great action, and just a chance to get stuck in. A lot of players, a meet like Saratoga, a meet like Del Mar, contests are a terrific way for lower bankroll players to get a maximum of action with the upside, and you take the downside out.
Yeah, I played last summer. I was heading out of town. I was in the Albany TV studio, and I was going to drive up to Maine, and I had the computer open, and I said, you know what, I'm going to log on and see if there are any contests to play. And then when I get in Maine, I can check the results, and I played an NHC budget builder or whatever they call it. Yeah. And get to Maine, and I had like an $80 horse out of Santa Anita. I won the contest for like $1,200, so I was able to play 8 or 9 contests during the remainder of the year. It's a great way to jump in for a little amount of money and then get into the bigger events.
The credit builders are a lot of fun because they help you fund the contest, to get familiar with the platform.
Yeah.
The other thing I like about the credit builders in general is it's just a very fun way to experience the contest scene.
Yeah, and talk a little bit. I say it all the time. Contest handicapping is different than regular handicapping. We had the Matisse brothers in here yesterday, Duke and Paul, and they kind of agreed. When you're handicapping for a contest, you have to search around for a little more value. And then if it's a live during the day, I particularly like the ones where you put in your bets all at the beginning. But I play the other kind as well. And if it's live during the day, sometimes you just have to also figure, oh, where am I in the lead? Do I take a shot with a 5-2 or do I go for a little longer? But I think it makes you think differently, which I think then translates to improving your handicapping overall.
That's a great point. My friend Jonathan Kinchin won the NHC Tour last year. He's the co-host of the Daily Racing Form Players podcast with me and Mike Hogan at DRF, formulator of DRF. And he always says that contests helped him essentially develop the muscle memory for coming up with that live 8-1 shot. And if you can do that and then put that into your multi-race play, the benefits are obvious.
Yeah, again, contests are a lot of fun. Great way to start these low rollers, which they're doing on Sundays and Mondays. But we have a bigger contest coming up Wednesday and Thursday here at Saratoga. Buy-in's a little steeper. I think I'm going to play Wednesday. I think that's going to be the game plan. So it'll be my first chance. I played in a number of contests, some online ones. Tampa used to have a really good one that they did away with, but that one was fun. And I used to play over at the dog track in Hinsdale over in New Hampshire. They would have a spring and a fall. So I played in a few of them, and I've done okay. I don't know if I've ever gone up against kind of the heavy hitters that'll be here, as I'm seeing. But they've switched up as well. The format's a little bit different this year.
It is. For the first time, this is a true live bankroll contest. And that has a lot of benefits, not the least of which is you keep the money that you win from your bet. So even if you don't make the prize pool, there's a chance to walk away and still get paid. Here's how it works. It's $1,000 for an entry. I think players can have up to 2 entries. Wednesday and Thursday. It used to be a 2-day contest. Now, separate contest Wednesday, separate contest Thursday. Of that $1,000, 600 of that acts as a live bankroll. I think the pools you're eligible to play are the same as the Breeders' Cup, which would be win, play, show, exacta, trifecta. That other $400 goes into a prize pool, which gets paid out 100% back to the players. So you're playing a takeout in the fact that that 600 you bet, the track will take the normal cut out of that. But then meanwhile, you have 40% of your play that isn't having any takeout on it, so you can see financially that's a benefit. We've got Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge seats on the line, National Handicapping Championship seats on the line. This is going to be a great tournament. I've been just walking around the last couple days. They're coming in, shipping in from all over the country to play in the Saratoga tournament, and I'm pretty sure there are still some spots available. So contact Donnie Nelson at Naira. If you're interested, if you see me around and want some help getting started, always happy to answer questions either in person or via Twitter, where you can find me at @LoomsBoldly. Love to help people out getting involved in the contest world.
Yeah, I saw Kinchin the other day. Nick Tamero is in town. I'm assuming he's probably going to jump in and play.
Oh, yeah.
And Paul from the Ohio racetrack. Used to be the trainer, but now he bounces. I had him on the show. I'm blanking on his name.
Gary Johnson?
Gary Johnson. Yeah, what was I? Yeah, Gary Johnson, who used to have him on the show all the time, handicapping the Ohio racetrack before it shut down. But even then, he had transitioned out of being a trainer to bouncing around, and he winds up in Vegas every year.
Oh.
And I know he's been here in years past, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him here.
He'll be here
this year. Yeah,
that whole crew from Ohio, Cheryl McIntyre having such a great year on the NHC Tours. She's already won something like 4 Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge spots. She can only play 2 of them. The others will be transferred. But a lot of great players. The Ohio contingent runs deep.
And there's a cadre of these folks who go out and, like Gary, he traveled around all year long and would get himself a couple of spots to Vegas. And there are these people who go out and go in a number of contests, and you see them up at the top week in and week out, enough so that they can get multiple entries. And when you see those kind of names going up against, it just says it's going to be a tough road to hoe on Wednesday and Thursday.
It adds to the fun, too, though. I know a lot of people, last year when Jonathan Kinchin was on his big run, I would see it on Twitter. People be like, I finished ahead of Kinchin. You know, they get excited. It's just one of the ways in my attempts to cover the tournament world in the pages of the Daily Racing Form and at drf.com is to really try to focus on the players who are going through those runs and build them up the way that the poker players during that massive poker boom were built up. And I do think it creates a lot of fun to see your name on the leaderboard with those established names. And like we said, there's other things like credit builders where you can sort of work your way up. Where you'll occasionally see those players, but you're playing against maybe a little more people at your peer group. So there's so many different ways to do it.
And where's a good place for people to go to kind of get a contest rundown on a week-to-week basis?
Well, the NTRA and the Breeders' Cup do great jobs on their site of listing all of the qualifying tournaments. My work, I obviously focus mostly on the contest that Daily Racing Form is a part of. You can definitely, if you follow me, which you can find me, the easiest way is under the Tournaments tab at the DRF site. There's something called Tournament News where all my content is archived. You'll get a lot of it in there. But for that full schedule, ntra.com, breederscup.com, should be able to navigate and find the full schedule for all the qualifying opportunities. Those are the two majors. They're the ones we focus on the most, and you should be available. You should be aware of where those are qualifying are happening.
And we should mention there's a benefit to signing up and becoming a member for the whole year.
Absolutely. The NHC Tour is a year-long competition. We just kicked off the second half of the tour. There's also prizes for the full year. It's I cover it a lot. If you read my columns, you'll get up to speed very quickly on what you need to do. It's not a the more the merrier situation. It's a limited number of scores. For the full year, it's your best 6 scores. One has to come from a live event. So it's not like you have to dance every dance to still have a chance. It's all about coming up with big scores by finishing in the top 10% of fields. I would predict that the year-long winner is going to probably have to get a win in a live event. Maybe it'll happen this week at Saratoga.
And that then allows you, if you become the champion for the year, when you go to Vegas to participate in that contest, you're eligible for, what, a bonus $1 million? And I was reading your column for the other day. There's now a $3 million bonus out there if you team up a couple of the contests.
It's been very clever combining of contests going on this year. For the NHC Tour, it's $75,000 to the winner and a shot at $1 million. Kinchin went out there last year with a shot to do it. He was drawing live. Ended up flattening out a bit as happens. But then these other bonuses, especially this new one, very exciting for me. There's going to be someone, the player who wins the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, is going to be drawing live for over $4 million at the NHC. It's a difficult thing to accomplish by design, but it makes covering the story a lot of fun.
And we see Paul Matisse there after his win earlier this year. And he winds up with an Eclipse Award, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We should have mentioned that the NHC champion, in addition to the estimated $800,000, Paul actually won more than $800,000. Did he tell you the story of how he bet on himself?
Oh!
There's betting on the NHC, and he, I think as part of the entry fee, sort of like a thank you from the NTRA, everybody got whatever it was, a $100 chip. Talk about confidence. He went and put it right on himself and walked with another 10 dimes on top of the 800. But there's also a chance to get something that no money could buy, which is an Eclipse Award.
Yeah.
And I love that. This was an idea that the great Stephen Christ helped develop with the NTRA, that a horse player should be honored in the same event where we honor trainers and owners and the equine athletes. It's a great thing for horse players and it's not meant to be, okay, this NHC champion is the best horse player. It's called Horse Player of the Year, but it's really, the way I look at it is it's an honor for all horse players. It's just to have the industry acknowledge the contributions that we make, something that I think it's happening more and more, but still doesn't probably happen quite enough.
And Paul's a great representative. And the other NHC champions have been good representatives as well, but he came on yesterday and we had a nice talk, and I think hopefully got people maybe juiced up to play in some of the contests. Hopefully you did as well. As I say, you can start for a low amount of money and work your way up and get your ideas formulated as to where you want to go on the contest scene. There are different price points you can jump in for. Big money on Wednesday and Thursday up here at Saratoga. As I say, the game plan is maybe to get in Wednesday. I'll report how I do. It's going to be tough. I'll be knocking heads with some of the bigger players. You can keep up with all of it. As Pete said, he covers personalities as well as the contest scene in the Racing Forum. Highly recommended to pull up his work on the Daily Racing Forum website. Pete, we appreciate the visit. We'll talk again.
Always. Good luck on Wednesday.
All right, thanks a lot. Peter Thomas Fornatale, a little bit earlier, Anna Seitz from Facing Tipton. Swing by the sale tonight and tomorrow, 7 o'clock, just down the street on East Avenue. Andy Serling gave us some ideas for today, and Teresa Genaro started out with the calendar of events. Again, you can find that all at Brooklyn Backstretch. You type that into Google and you get there. All right, that's going to wrap up not only Monday, but this racing week. Tomorrow's a dark day. I'm sleeping in. Hopefully we all get a nice day to recoup and come back on Wednesday and start it all over again. But nice day here up at Saratoga. Again, highly recommended. Come up, enjoy the day, catch a little dinner, go over to the sales. Should be a lot of fun. Do want to remind you one more time of that Michael Strait breakfast coming up on Wednesday morning, benefiting Michael Strait, again, the local jockey who was paralyzed in a racetrack accident, now using that rewalk device. That benefit breakfast, again, Wednesday morning at 9 to 11 at Holiday Inn at Saratoga. There'll be a breakfast, a raffle, some racing memorabilia will be available. Should be a worthwhile event. Did want to remind you of that. All right, we're going to wrap things up for the Monday edition of Racing Across America. We are here every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 until 11 a.m. That means we're wrapping things up. Enjoy the races this afternoon. Cash a few tickets. See you back here Wednesday morning for the Handicappers Report at 9 o'clock.
You've been watching Racing Across America with Seth Merrow. Racing Across America has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. Thoroughfan, giving the fan a voice. Find them at thoroughfan.com. And Woodbine Racetrack. Pick, bet, and cheer on world-class horse racing north of the border.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off-Track Betting.
Pounds for the win as well. You'd be hoping for a big run here.
Definitely, yeah. Like you say, course and distance, and the fact he only went up £2 is a big advantage for us. So he's coming into the race off good form, the best form in the race. So good draw again, which is going to help us.
He's had a few tries on turf as well, but he's beginning to build a profile of a useful all-weather horse, maybe for later on in the year.
Yeah, he's not overly big, and I think he probably suits a turning track like Wolverhampton. This is probably where he's happiest. So yeah, he's turning into a nice all-weather horse.
Yeah, and no arguments with the £2 rise for the win last time.
No, not at all. I mean, we're not going to complain only going like that. So it's very marginal, which is obviously going to help our chances.
It didn't appear to be a great deal of pace on last time. It just seemed a muddling sort of race. So I thought he deserved probably a bit more credit for actually winning that.
I think so. What doesn't help, he tends to run a little bit freely. He's not overly keen, but we were just in a bit of a pocket, had a horse on the outside very close to him and just made him a little bit keen off a slow pace. So hopefully things will be left a little bit more simpler today. And that should just make our lives a bit easier.
Yeah. And he's a 3-year-old against older horses in this race. He's got I think it's an £8 weight for age. I just think we're getting to that time of year where over certain distances, that weight for age allowance starts to become a little bit generous if you're on the right horse.
Of course. I mean, you're obviously getting towards the second half of the season, and those horses, the 3-year-olds, they're in the second half of the year, so that little bit more developed, which, like you say, I think starts to become more of an advantage as you go on.
Paul Hannigan's on a 3-year-old as well, Shower Heed, who showed some good form last year, but you've got at least a fitness edge over that horse.
I think so, and like I said before, I think we're bringing that little bit more form into the race, which is just a bit more of an edge.
Well, it looks good on paper, so we'll hope for a repeat, and of course 100% record intact.
Exactly, we'll try and see what we can do.
All the best, Harry.
Thank you very much. Cheers.